are fun things.
Everyone, thank you so very much for joining us today. I am Dolly.
Oh, we're live?
We are live, girlfriend.
Wow, look at that.
We are live. You're looking for streamers and we're live. So I am
for a drink.
Hey, you know, I forgot my drink. I forgot. Darn. We'll be right back. So I have to ask.
Yeah.
Did you hear the sound the whole time?
Yeah.
I didn't. Ooh. We're gonna have a good show today, I tell you.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my goodness gracious. All right. Anita.
What's going on? What's happening here? What am I missing? What's happening?
Yeah, there's stuff happening.
Right now?
Yeah, there's some stuff happening. Hey, hi everybody. Yeah, we're gonna just jump right into the show. As you can see, Anita is wearing her beautiful Happy 2020 hat, and of course, I found the pink one. You know, because that's me. That's me. So
I really wanted to have like a million balloons and streamers and drinks, and it just didn't happen that way today. That's okay. It's 2020. It's still 2020.
It didn't. There's some things that are happening, but it's okay. It's all good. But listen, everyone, I want to personally welcome you to our last show of the year. The DnA Authority is pleased to have you, and we're so grateful that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to be here with us and to join us and to just have a little fun and of course, be informed. Again, I am Dolly Cortes.
And I'm Anita Myers, and this is Wonder Woman Wednesday. It is the last show of the year, just like Dolly said. I am so glad. I am actually very happy about 2020, and we'll talk about that soon. We're talking to some really wonderful topics, and we have a wonderful guest who I love so much. She is my illustrator, and we'll tell you all about that from a book I just had published this year. Mm-hmm. We are going to talk about the power of illustration. Asian.
I love it when you do that. You know, Anita, I was thinking, you mentioned something just this week, just a few days ago. You mentioned something, and I thought it was so sweet that I was it stayed with me. Wow. And it was how you said that our show is our time for you just to hang out with your friend. You know, and I thought that was
we're friends and we're sharing information. I mean, look, this is who we really are. No matter where we go, we just kind of talk about things, share things, and there's always some level of information that's important. Like I met so-and-so and I know so-and-so and you've got to meet so-and-so. And this is just everywhere, anytime we're ever on the phone, this is the show, isn't it? So it's just friend time.
It really, really is. And I just, I have fun with you and I really appreciate you. And I just want you to know that. So thank you for being you and thank you for being so amazing. And I just absolutely adore you. And it has been a wonderful year sharing this space with you.
Yes, it has been. And after you put that intro in, we're going to talk all about it.
No, we're not. Look at that message I just sent you, darling.
It's just not going to happen today, huh?
No, ain't gonna happen. No,
that is something. Okay, so that's okay, and that's why it's 2020. So we're gonna go.
We could take a little quick break.
Let's do that.
All right, let's bring it in. I love that commercial of yours. I really
That's great.
do.
I'm glad you do. I want people who see that commercial, that ad and promo to really get a good feel of their potential and the ability and what they can do. And I really think that the world of emotional intelligence is such a neglected world. Only certain things are picked. It's almost like when you have children, it's like Home Alone. Emotional intelligence is like Kevin that's left at home alone.
Oh, that's
And
Trump.
I just want people to not leave Kevin at home alone.
That's trauma, darling.
You feel me? Like it is. And when you really realize what you leave behind in the world of emotion,
Uh-huh.
you're going to love all over again. And it's going to feel so good.
That's awesome. Hey, quick shout out to Barbara Beckley, who is joining us, and Cindy Wills Fitzpatrick. So,
Cindy's my girl. Cindy is a great friend as it is, but she was someone that went to college with me. So I knew her in college, and she's one of my sorority sisters, and I just love her. She's just been wonderful. Hi, Cindy.
oh, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Merry Christmas and the upcoming Happy New Year to you. And I know you're all like, what in the world is Anita doing wearing? Get that away. I know right now you're looking at the hat and you're kind of wondering why.
Yeah, because it says happy 2020, Anita.
Well, of course you understand that, but not everybody does. And that's the thing. I wanted you to kind of focus on the concept of happy. Now, I know, we all know what 2020 had shown us. But I just want to take you off the platform of looking at the year as being bad, because that's all I see. All the posts out there are talking about what a horrible year it's been. And I understand why that's being said, but I'd like you to try to look at, and this is the reason why I wore this. I wore this because I want you to look at what did make you happy. There were things that made you happy. I know that the concept of what we saw, there's a lot of terrible things that happened, but I have mentioned this in my posts. I've shared this with people that the year wasn't actually a bad year. People were behaving very badly. Doesn't matter where you're at and what you think, but people made bad choices. And because of those bad choices and because of really bad behavior, we had what we had. So do we fix the year or do we fix the people and the behaviors that made this happen? The choices that people made that caused the kinds of calamities that we actually all observed. Some of us had it worse than others. Some of us became blessed. Some of us are finding blessings right now. There's a lot to truly be happy about because I'm going to move myself over to a word that I think can be identified by 2020. And that is the word struggle. And when you think about the word struggle, we all know the phrase, the struggle is real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can all agree, right, Dolly? The struggle is real. The paper, the toilet paper. I mean, if we go back in time, it was about the toilet paper. I remember the moment I was laughing at the television, standing up in my living room, my family room, looking at my husband and saying, like, look at how silly they are. They're all like, everyone's getting all the toilet paper because I got to hurry up because of this whole whatever. That's just so crazy. And then I kind of slowly calmed myself down and then looked at him and I go, we do have enough toilet paper, don't we? And he's like, he's in charge of the paper towels and the toilet paper. I'm in charge of the food and everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, and then I'm like, are you kidding? Like, we don't, where are we on our stock? Do we not have any? And of course, there we were. I had struggling to find toilet paper. That was the beginning of this year and the way that it was, and it just the hits kept coming. But I want to refocus you on what struggle is supposed to be about, and I'm going to share this as quickly as I can because I wrote some of these quotes just to kind of help get my message across to you. You think of the word struggle. There's a purpose for it. We're supposed to struggle. That's what life's about. That's what you see in movies. If you watched a movie that was just perfectly wonderful in every way with no conflict, no struggle, it was just everything was great all the way to the end, that would be crazy. Because when you have a movie that has a conflict, you want to see the conflict like overcome. You want to see the mission created and you finally get to that place where it's accomplished and that feel good, like valuable feeling happens at the end. So I got a quote here for you, and it says, struggles are required in order to survive in life, because in order to stand up, you gotta know what falling down feels like.
Mm.
And I know y'all are going to be like, well, Anita, look, we had enough of falling down. We're done. We don't want to fall down anymore. But now it's time to rise back up. You're taking notes. You're noting what's going on. You're gathering your information. You're getting your data. You're getting all of that arsenal that you need to get back up and move forward. We're still here. The other
What, though, but if I could add to that, sometimes it isn't until you actually hit rock bottom.
For some,
that for some, it isn't until that moment that you actually decide to take action and for yourself. Sometimes we settle and we think that we have enough to be feeling fulfilled, and then we realize, oh shoot, there was more to this. And I think that sometimes falling and hitting your knees and hitting them hard is the best thing that can happen to you.
Yeah. And I've seen this quote in the past, and I still love it now, that you survived 100% of your worst days.
Oh, I like that.
Just if you look at where you are right now, you survived 100% of your worst days. You're still here.
Oh,
God bless you for being here. Thank God we're all still here. I pray. I don't want you to think that I'm all, happiness all day long. I work on it. I have to be able to adjust. And I have my conflicts. I have my struggles. I have things that take place, in minuscule amounts to grand amounts. I've been going through it my whole life. I even wrote a book about it because it was really about, the storms that come through in my life. And it all really came in, for me, it came in the world of emotional abuse. And that's right. The undercover superhero. The undercover superhero. Guys, gals, I believe in all my heart. I feel like I need to get on a soapbox right now. Maybe I am. I believe with all my heart. Yes. I'll let you go ahead.
I just have your stuff.
Well, anyway, I was going to say,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was going to say that when we look at the undercover superhero, if you haven't read the book, I understand. Some of my friends are like, I bought the book, but I don't really read. I like to listen to audio. I'm working on it. We'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, those of you who have read my book, those of you who want to read my book, here's what I want you to know, that I believe in all my heart that all of us are undercover superheroes if we're not already just natural heroes, like the first responders, the people that are out there that are fighting for our freedom. All that's out there. There are people who know that the nurses, the doctors, they know what their purpose is. But those of us that were kind of struggling through, the different storms in our lives, that once you can start recognizing what your purpose is, and it'll come through the struggle. It came through my struggle. And that's why I share the things that I share. I teach what I teach. And I want to grow other people to start recognizing that concept of emotional intelligence, because it's so freaking powerful. I can't tell you, it makes Thor look weak. It is so powerful. And I said Thor. Yes, Thor. It makes Thor look weak. Not fat Thor, like amazing Thor. It makes him look weak when you really understand your emotional intelligence. So I want you to really embrace the struggle of 2020. But I want you to embrace it in a way where you've learned what you needed to learn, and you know who you are in this whole experience, and you push yourself through that storm and go right into 2021. You are a better person. You have grown in character through all these adjustments. Man, I used to say this about Chicago people. I'm from the Chicagoland area, as well as Dolly. When you live in a place where, there are storms of all kinds here in Illinois, but I think Chicago is considered its own state by the way that people behave. And we also deal with the weather, the different seasons changing. We just got snow. Now. And we have been blessed to be able to experience 4 seasons. We really do experience spring, summer, fall, when we do experience all of it. And we've watched ourselves adjust through all those storms, all that heat, the humidity, the rains that pour, all that stuff. We've experienced it. So us going through this was really, really a trying experience. But I think all of us that have survived through it, we've learned a lot. And I think it's important for us to hold gratitude for the year that it provided us a lot of knowledge so that we could do better for the next year.
I completely agree with you, Anita, but I also believe that it wasn't all about struggles. I mean, I think there were so many people in 2020 that took advantage of the time of, gratitude was one piece, but, you know, although many millions of people were forced to now be at home, they started taking advantage of that. They started taking advantage of the quality.
Having your child and husband at home is kind of a struggle. But I learned to adjust it now. I mean it with all the love in my heart. I mean, but I know that there are parents out there and wives out there and even husbands out there that are like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the way it's got to be.
No, and I totally get that. But I think there were so many people. I think that there were so many opportunities that people took. I think especially for the fathers. There's so many fathers out there that are the main breadwinners, and they're hardly ever home. They're always working, and this time they were forced to stay home and actually spend a little more quality time with their families. And I love that happened.
Yeah. And really, I give a lot of credit to those who have spent so much time during this year looking for ways to keep the motivation going, taking negative situations and saying, here's what I did, here's what I'm going to offer you, here's what I want to do for you. There's a lot of videos that have shown help and expression and influence and inspiration that people need. And I know that when it comes down to the things that were negative, you're going to hear plenty of that. You'll see all the Christmas ornaments and cards that reflect it. And thank God for comedy. At least we could laugh about some of these awful things. But, moving forward, I want to ask you.
Yes.
When we think of the new year every year, one of the things I remembered hearing many years ago was a really good, a good habit to have was to start thinking about a word of intention at the end of the year. People think about resolutions, and I have my thoughts about that for later. But to think of a word of intention as you look towards the new year coming. So I used to develop every year. I had a word, like this is the word that it's going to be for the next year, and I'm going to be focusing on that word. So it's like your focus word.
Yeah.
Do you have a focus word? I actually have two for this year, but this coming year. But
I definitely do, and it's funny because you brought that up earlier. So can I have a couple? Okay. And I'm going to use this from you is the Dolly level. Dolly level, and that may sound that for those that don't know what that is ultimate growth. That is, I'm going to go as big as I can go. It's all about growth. It's all about the Dolly level. This is it. The time has come.
Let me elaborate on what you said real quick. And I know we've got some time. We've got to work on the next thing we're going to be doing. But real quick, Dolly level basically means as high as she can go. And when I gave her that title because when I first met her, she was just beginning in where she wanted to go in terms of her publishing company. And she was working with all these authors, and she was just on a roll, feeling really good. And I just loved her energy, which was her energy always said, okay, I'll do that. It can be done. It's a will. It's not a try. It's just, we're going to do it. Yeah. And I remember mentioning a gala to her, we could do a gala, and not we could do a gala, but she could do a gala. And she's like, you know what? I will. And she did it, and it happened. And it was one of those moments where you don't really think that's going to happen because you just got started in doing this and you're on a roll and feeling good. But she literally pulled together a fantastic gala that tells you that that's Dolly level.
It is Dolly level. So I think that's it. That's my intention for this year.
I think that's a great intention. I think that's you're aiming high. You're just aiming as high as you can. I think that's awesome. Mine is real quick. I normally do one word. Last year, my word was reciprocation. I had recognized one of the things that I struggled with was I gave so much of my talent, of my education, of my information, of my heart to so many people that, I wasn't valuing what I could provide in my business, that I do, do well in my business, but to those I was offering more than I really should have, and I didn't see a reciprocation. In business, when you're doing business networking, there should be a reciprocation of sorts. That's how we network. That's how we move forward. I help you, you help me. We move forward, and we're great friends. So I decided to consider the word reciprocation this year because of 2020, because of the calamities that we saw, because of so much. I had to come up with two. And one was application, absolute application. It's all about the doing more than the thinking and the wondering and the hoping and the believing. The believing is very important, but the doing is what's going to make that thing happen. And then finally, it's just a word that really resonated with me as I was kind of praying about it. And it's the word conquer. I don't want to just have application. I want to conquer a lot.
To the world.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Let's do it together, Anita.
Yes. And, speaking of struggle and conquer, I'd like to share one last thing.
Would you mind?
Yes.
Yes,
go ahead.
We can do that after a beautiful and amazing guest, but I want you to introduce the guest after we take this short break.
Okay. I love it.
Music, and it just makes me want to keep.
No, I know. It's like that's like, you know what? That's Dolly level.
Dolly level.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. It's on, baby. It's on. Anita, we have an amazing guest that you and I absolutely adore, and I would love it if you would please introduce her.
Thank you. Well, I was telling you a little bit ago about struggle and, the concept of application and conquer. These things don't come to me without having had my experiences in my own life and what works and the words that come to me so quickly when I have desires of things that I want to accomplish. And one of the biggest struggles that I had in my life was loss. All of us at some point, if you haven't already, are going to experience loss of someone that you love so dearly. It could be a pet, could be your parents, it could be your siblings, it could be your children. I mean, heaven forbid, we don't want to see these things happen. However, we live a life where our warranty is there for only so long, and we can't always get that extended warranty. But if we do, hallelujah. And if we don't, this is what it is. We have to recognize that we are given a certain time on this planet. When I lost my mom in 2005, I lost my father in 2015, 10 years later. When I lost my mom in 2005, it was an absolute awful experience for me. We were very, very tight. We became so close, and she was always close to me. And she was the reason why the words "hearts do matter" came about, in terms of all the hearts that I would see out there in the world. And there's a backstory to it. So one day after I had finished writing The Undercover Superhero, I was driving from one destination to another, just running errands. And this poem showed up in my heart, and I started to record it because I'm like, what's this? What's this? Oh my gosh, I want to write it down. I hit it, the voice to text thing, and I recorded it. And that became the book, Hearts Do Matter. And I'll tell you something. That's right. This is the book right here. Okay. And what's really great about this book was the poem was in my mind, and that poem had to be illustrated. That's what I felt in my heart, that it needed to be illustrated. It needed to be a book that wasn't just for kids, that it could be for adults too. And I was searching and searching high and low. And the thing is when I said I was searching, I'm like, what kind of an illustrator do I want? I took one effort to go to one group that I wasn't there. I had only been there once, and I'll tell you more in a moment, but one thing led to another. And I came across this lady. Her name is Yury Borgen. And I'd like to have her come on right now, and we could talk more about what took place after that. But her name is Yury Borgen. Welcome, welcome. There's my beautiful.
Hi. Thank you. Welcome to our show. We are so excited to have you here. You have, first of all, I absolutely adore that woman. Where is she? There she is. There she is. I absolutely adore her. She's got such a big heart. But what I really want to personally thank you for helping her through this journey, because what you did for her, you helped her blossom even further.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am the one that feels super grateful. And I don't know, I feel that you are my friends already.
We
Yeah.
are. We are. We are. We are.
It was, it was an instant friendship. It was incredible. And that's what I'm saying. If anyone, look, when I was younger, I didn't know how strong my faith in God was. I had it, but I just didn't know a lot about a lot. And as I grew, I've learned so much about being connected and understanding some of the things that show up in my heart, in my mind, and in my experiences in life. And so, these are the moments that I would say is a God-blessed moment, because where would I know where to go? I don't know illustrators. I don't hang out with the writing world. I'm not a big time author that's been around for 20 years. I just had a poem to turn into a book, and I knew what I wanted in my head. And I had been a part of several different groups that were on Facebook, and I just went to one, and I happened to just, I don't know. I went in there because I thought, well, maybe I'll ask a question about illustrators, but someone had already done it. That was the only time I was in that group, because I didn't find the group to be enriching for me to stay in. But that one time I saw someone say, I'm looking for an illustrator. And I saw the common, out of all the responses, there were many. I looked for who had said the one name that was common. And it was Yury Illustration is what I saw. And so I'm like, well, they said this. Let me see. I clicked, and I don't know if anyone has ever done this. If you're on Facebook or any social media and you get something to click and it strikes your interest, you can click through in a flash, and you get everything you need that quickly. It's kind of creepy, but it's also pretty awesome if you really are looking at it. So I got to her, and I saw her illustrations, and the thing I was looking for, if you can do this real quick, Dolly, just to show people, there was a picture that she would take a picture that you have regular picture, and she turned them into this adorable cartoon, all with the emotions and everything.
Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you.
I gave her a picture of me.
You go here.
Okay, so that's my mom.
That's your mom
purse. My mom always loved that little purse.
And then that's you.
Okay, that's I don't know how old. I think I was like 1 or 2, maybe 1.
I don't know. You're just the cutest little thing. I just love that smile.
I'm always laughing, yeah.
And then this is what Yury created.
Okay, that's my mom in her pink outfit, and me in my yellow dress with the purse. I mean, I know it might not be much to anybody else, but if you want to relive a life with someone that you love, what was so great about Yury was she has her protocol about what she's looking for. But what happened was, when I saw her and I saw her illustrations of others, obviously it wasn't mine, it was others, I immediately wanted to talk to her, and we hit it off like that. We got on virtual, went online and met each other through Zoom, and I saw her smile. We talked about so many things. I shared a little bit of my heart on the story that I had. And then she took me through this protocol that would allow me to answer questions and build. So from there onwards, Yury, I never imagined the illustrations that I did receive. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. I've seen what you do for others, but I have no idea. But when I started to see them come alive, I mean, I literally cried every time. I would look at it, I'd have to tell my family to leave me for a minute because I just need to be alone with each page. And wipe my tears, and it was just one of those things that you knew it. And the tears were because they were accurate. They were right. It was like I went back in time to see my life again. Oh, just saying it gets me like.
So Anita, let's let our guests chime in.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I wanted to make sure people knew the story of that. But
no, you're
absolutely.
It's okay. I am enjoying it. So I just have like that feeling of whenever you're smiling, you cannot stop smiling, and you feel your cheeks like doing exercise.
Yeah.
So I feel like that because I am beyond happy that I work with you, and I totally agree that whenever I first met you, I was like, I want to work with her because I really liked the moment I saw you. I felt like I have known you since ever, and to me that made like the click, like you said. It was like an instant connection. And of course your story, and I, all the time that I was working on your book, I was always thinking like, this is something important for her, and that's why I deliver my best. And I was always thinking about how important it is for you and for your mom. And I am as spiritual as you are as well. So I think that's why we connected very well, because we are very close with our moms. And also I believe, even before meeting you, I believe that life goes beyond the physical world, the physical body. So I just knew that I wanted to work with you, and yeah, I'm happy that I got the chance.
Yeah. And, thank you so much for everything. And, one of the things I'd love to have you share when we think about, what we did, and this is how we met and this is what happened. And obviously the results are just absolutely amazing. People see the cover of it, but, there's the idea of taking someone's thought and the way that they think and turning it into something that really resonates with that person's heart. And it made me want you to come on to the show, because there's many images that are in here that are really spot on in emotion, in illumination. It wasn't like, here's a heart or here's a story. You brought so much to it that I know many people that have read it, they're not just reading my story, they're slowly relating it to their own situation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, if you don't mind sharing, there is a power that you have in the way that you illustrate, because anyone can draw. Many people that are illustrators can draw what they draw. They all might have their own talent, but you have your own. What would you say is the power that you can bring to your illustration?
I feel like the most important thing, or the goal that I try to achieve with my illustrations, is I realized like the words and the illustrations have to be connected.
Yeah.
And I have seen how kids, they first see the illustrations, then go to the text, and then they go to the illustrations again. So I am very clear in the work that illustrations create. It helps recognize emotions, feelings, situations. I really, whenever I'm illustrating, I am really thinking as a reader. So I put myself in the reader's role, and I imagine what I really want to see, like what things I can help the reader to recognize, because even though we have different stories, we all have had difficult situations, like ups and downs. So I always put myself in the reader's role. Sorry. And I feel like that's one of the things, like makes the illustrations great, because if you're just illustrating for, I just want to finish this, it's not going to work, because you're not putting any feeling. It's just not going to stand out, so that's why, like you said, it's not just a heart. And I really wanted to make the heart stand out, so I knew, okay, I have to put dark colors, I have to put like really bright colors, because I want to make the reader look first here. So I feel that's one of the powers that you are asking me, and it's putting yourself first in the role of the reader.
I love that answer. And if I could even summarize it for the sake of you shared so much about that, that's really great, is I see it as you apply emotional intelligence into your drawings. You are aware of what the other person's feeling, and you're picking and choosing colors that feel like, here's where I want them. And the other thing is a positioning, that you really thought about, how does the ultimate reader read? They're not just reading the text, and then everybody reads a little bit differently, but how children would read it. They're going to look at the imagery. So that's very important, that I don't know if everybody can recognize.
Yeah, and actually something that I find it very pretty and curious is the illustrations are like the starting point, the starting point in the creative mind. The other day, one of my husband's friend's sons He was looking at one of my books, and even though the book has a story, the boy with his own experiences, he was creating other things. He was like, oh, so this is this, and he is doing that. And even though he read the story, he takes the illustrations with the words and create other worlds.
Oh, right.
I was actually going to point out to that, because this is my favorite page of the whole book. This is something I've shared with Anita in the past. But one of the reasons why this is so powerful to me, this page, is because of the expressions that you have on the characters' faces. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at this, and without reading any of the text, without even knowing the story, you can see here's this young girl who is just having fun, who's laughing, who's smiling. The mom is laughing along with her,
Yes.
really enjoying it.
I
And
can-
then here on this other page, there you go. And then here on this other page,
That's totally me and my mom.
yeah,
Absolutely guilty.
absolutely. But even the way that you just depicted them so incredibly well, because the way that they would look at each other. I always tell Anita that, it's all about the eyes. I've always said that. Like I like to have my Zoom calls because I can look at people in their eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
And they speak to me. And here, by them looking at each other, the way they look at each other, they're speaking to each other. But they're speaking to each other with love. And that's why this is my favorite of all the images that you
Really?
really, it always stood out to me, and it's because of the emotions behind it. So I just love how you were able to capture story.
Yeah, I think also, like what I said, people, you want to make people see themselves in the story, even though it's a different story. Now that you're mentioning that that's your favorite illustration from the book, I remember whenever I was drawing that one, and whenever I'm drawing, I am like listening to podcasts, listening to music, some stuff like that. But at the same time, my mind is like taking things from my own experience as well. So I remember in that particular illustration that my mind went whenever I was a kid, and my mom was cooking chicken, and then she will grab the chicken, like the whole chicken, and she will just like hunt us, she will run after us like to scare us, and that was like a funny thing. And I just remember it, even though it's a different thing, like in the book, Anita is dancing with music, etc. But my mind took me immediately to that moment whenever my mom was like cooking and making fun stuff with us around, you know what I mean?
Yes, yes. And, I think when I saw, God, first of all, I want you to know, I don't even think I have a favorite page, because for me, every one of them is a favorite for the reason that it was there for the story. You did such a beautiful job on every single page, even depicting my own elementary school and that moment. All those moments were real. They actually happened. And so, I love that you were able to find a relatability, because what's really interesting about those two pages that Dolly showed is, one page is of me dancing and making an ass of myself, and my mom just laughing because I'm just always goofy. And the other is of me loving my mom while she's cooking. And what has been what's happened is I have the exact same scenarios happening in my home, where I'm still acting like a moron and my daughter's laughing like my mother. And when my daughter's cooking, I'm grabbing her and loving her like I would grab my mother. It's the same things are still happening in my own home today, that I can still look at that picture and see me doing the same thing, but now instead of my mom, and not in place of her, but like, moving forward to see me do the same thing with my daughter. It's really beautiful. But I wanted to ask you, I think about illustrators now. There are people that are trying to illustrate, they're sketching, they're starting, or maybe they really have good talent, but they're unsure. Can you share with us a couple things? How did you get yourself started? And if you think about people today that want to get involved, what good words can you impart to help them move forward to where you're at in life?
I think as many I think the big thing is, it's gonna sound like the usual thing that everyone says, like practice, practice, and practice. But I think like if you combine practice with your passion, you are gonna make it. It's like the perfect recipe. And you also cannot compare yourself through the process, because there are a bunch of people who are like plenty of years ahead of you, and there is people who is starting. And whenever I started, I personally believe like I didn't believe in myself enough. And actually it was my husband, like he the one who pushed me to illustrations. And the other day that I was talking to him, and we were thinking about like, oh wow, like all the things that you have gone through, and to the point that you are right now, um, it was summarized by practice. But I had like this incentive,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, where he saw my potential. So I think if someone says to you, you have this talent, you're good at this, you can believe them. Like if there are people who love you actually, and they say you are really good at this, they are sometimes like putting you in the north, like in your path. And that's
Yeah.
what happened with me and my husband, because he was seeing like all of my sketchbooks, and they were like drawn by hand, and he was like, oh, these are really good, like you should do this, like you should focus on this. And I was like, yeah, but those are like things like I just do on the side, or I just randomly sketch there and here. And he was like, no, but you should do it like digitally, you should do this. And I didn't even know like there was like this whole world. And he was actually putting me in that path that I mentioned. And he said he's an editor, so he has like this tablet with pen, and it's like a drawing tablet. It's a Wacom. And he said, go ahead, try it. And the first time I grabbed it, I was like, oh no, this is too complicated. Oh no, I cannot disconnect my eyes from my hand, because when you're drawing like traditionally, you can see where your hand is, right? But whenever you're doing digitally with the kind of tablet that he has, you have to look here, and then your hand is on this other side.
Oh,
You
wow.
have to disconnect to that. So that, to me, that was like a big issue. And I was like, oh god, this is too complicated. But then he introduced me to this contest in Lisbon, in Lisboa. And because here in Lisboa they have like this whole festival with sardines and music and drink and stuff like that. And the whole theme of this festival is the sardines. So
Oh, really?
they have this contest where they give you this silhouette of a sardine, and you can personalize this sardine. And I think I don't know, like 5,000, or I don't remember the number of entries that they receive every year.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So I was just doing it for fun, and then those sardines made me practice, and I was like, okay, so I can actually do this. I can actually do this. And after that, I just continue illustrating digitally, because to me that was like the big struggle in that moment. So I think like the one of the best tips that I can give you is, if someone says to you, you are good at this, you should try it. You should try it, because sometimes you don't see the potential in yourself, but if a loved one sees from outside, it's because there must be something. And to me that's like the biggest one. And the other one is, besides practicing, all the material that you have online, all the material that you have available on YouTube, all of these podcasts. Because sometimes you feel like, oh, I have to go through, I don't know, like this course, and I have to get the best gadget, and I have to get like the best computer. And no, actually no, like there are digital tablets that cost like $40, and you can do like the best book there.
That's awesome.
And I think if you find excuses, you will find them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we have like everything online. I didn't know something, and I would just Google it, like about copyright, about credit, about how licensing works. And also, my third tip would be ask, 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 ask.
That's awesome.
When I moved here, I didn't know like anyone, so I didn't even know like illustration was like a whole thing. Like I thought like people were doing just like doodles and for fun. But then I met like these people who were actually working for really big people, like the big people in the industry. And I was like, oh my god, like I would ask them like, do you actually live from drawing? They were like kind of a little bit offended, and they were like, yeah. I was like, that's amazing, can you please tell me more? And I would ask everyone that I would meet, and I would find, for example, people on Instagram, and I would find their drawings fascinating. I'll be like, I'm totally new on this, like, can you please of course I will like introduce myself and do a little bit of talk, okay? And I will ask them, for example, like, can you tell me like all of the possibilities that are there with illustrations? And it will be like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, I have worked with these brands, I have worked with this and that. And I'll be like, wow, this is amazing. So that's how my eyes open in that moment.
So Yury, I have to ask you, so how long have you been illustrating? How long has it been?
I have been illustrating my whole life. Like that's how I'm gonna say, because
professionally.
Yeah, exactly. Professionally, I would say a year or 2 years. Because sometimes I see my first drawings professionally, I'd be like, no, I am better now. Like this doesn't count. Like sometimes you're like.
Good for you. No, but good for you, because you know what, and I think you really hit it. I love what you said about just giving yourself a chance, because sometimes people, and it's true, we have those loved ones. They have those loved ones that could be a little biased, and you may not be that great, and they'll still tell you you're wonderful, but you got to keep it real. But at the same time, you want to keep it real, but at the same time, you do have those people that truly care about you, and they may see something in you. They may see something in you like your husband saw in you.
Yes, actually,
Really your passion.
Yes, I believe sometimes we have to keep our ears very open to all the suggestions. And even if someone says to you, oh, Anita, oh, Dolly, you would be good as I don't know, as a gymnastic, like or a dancer or something, and you don't think about that, like you think you're not good at that, you can at least say, okay, I'm gonna try it. At least try it, like, I don't know, like for a month, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like they were.
See, I think she lives the way I like to live, which is adventurous.
Absolutely. Is your husband Jose Mato?
Yes.
Well, good, because he's saying hola over here. He's watching you, honey, and he's like, I'm happy that I insisted to Yury to try my digital pen. Well, Jose, I must tell you that we're happy that you did insist for Yury to try the digital pen, because she has been doing amazing work. We are so proud of you. So thank you. Thank you.
Now, Yury, you said something I wrote down that caught me, and I don't know if I misunderstood or if you really meant it, because either way, I just want to make sure I understood. You said that you should try to listen to people who put you in the north. Is that what you were saying? Do you remember hearing? Yeah. Tell me what that means, put you in the north. Because I do think I know what it means, but I wanted to make sure I got it from you.
Okay. I have a phrase here that actually I was seeing in my husband's shirt. Okay. So it's connected to that. And his shirt says, life is a journey without a map. But sometimes you have like these multiple roads that you can take, but sometimes you feel lost. And whenever I would be talking to some of my friends, they'd be like, I don't like my work, I don't like this, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. So I feel like we all go through that phase, like we all go through that phase where, what am I gonna do? Like I don't want to be doing this. And because before getting into this in illustration, I was feeling like that. I was feeling like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do with my life? And when I said put you in the north, is because, like imagine you're a boat. So you're just like going like this, but you don't know where you're going. And at this point of my life, I know that I want to be drawing for the rest of my life. Like I am happy, so I feel like I am in my north. Like I feel like I have already like this path mark. I don't know what's gonna be the destination, or I don't know what's gonna be all the landmarks, but I already know this is the road that I wanna continue taking.
I love that you said that in the way that you did. And I caught my ear to that as well as a few other things. But finding your true north is actually a really wonderful phrase about getting yourself to the place that you need to be going to, that think about the North Star, think about the direction that's going to be that final place that's just, there is a very fantastic meaning to it. So when you said that, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, she just totally said something I completely understood, that, we all need to find what our true north is. Some people don't know how to get there. And just like you said, that there's a map that you're on, you don't know which way you're going. And I actually
really have multiples.
Yes, right. And I really resonated when you said about how, you should really take what people say if they're complimenting and they're noticing a talent that you have. And I say it because from the time I can remember as a child, I've been told, even more so older, as I got older, I've always been told, you should, be in acting, or you should, be on the radio. You've got such a great voice. You should do your own radio show. You should do your own podcast. You should do, and I'd always just, because of my upbringing and what had me feel the way I felt, I would always have that feeling of like, yeah, you're just pulling my leg. Okay. Yeah. I'm okay. One funny. They don't really mean it. They're just trying to be nice. I came up with excuses to just let that go. But somewhere in my heart, I always wanted to be in acting. I always wanted to be on the radio. I always wanted to be doing a podcast. And here we are, where I'm talking with Dolly. Dolly says, let's do this. And I had some other experiences beforehand, but it brought me to where I have a feeling is my true north. I feel the purpose for it. I feel right about it. And I really couldn't agree with you more that if you do listen, you hear the common thing that's being said. I know one thing that you had mentioned also that made me think of the same thing, where people said I should be in sales. So I tried it. I don't like it. I found out something. I found out
try it.
I don't like sales. I don't like it. I'm telling everybody who thinks I should be in sales, I don't like it for lots of reasons. But I found out what I do like about that world is I'm a woman of service. I love to answer questions when people don't know which direction to go. I love to show them how to get to their true north. So it ended up, I needed to go through the sales gamut, even though I really didn't enjoy some of the aspects of it, the attributes of it. It did bring me to the place of what feels really good for me. So I loved how you shared your powers and what you saw happen for yourself. And I hope people that are watching this now or later can take some things that you've shared and actually grow who they are. If they might be the next illustrator out there. And
exactly.
Really great things.
I think you will not know what you want unless you try like multiple of things, because at least in your experience, what you just said to me, you try it and you didn't like it. So check, no, this is not for me. Exactly.
Yury, you have a fan who's watching you here, Ana Carrera.
Yes, Ana. Hola, Ana.
Ana's here, and she says that her kid, who is 6 years old, is one of your biggest fans.
Yes, Francisco, thank you so much. He's so sweet. Thank you for watching.
I love it. Well, you know what, Yury, you are truly a talent. Such a talented illustrator. You are a breath of fresh air. I love to say that to people who just live their passion and are just doing what they are meant to do. And I congratulate you in everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
I know we will continue to be working together in the very near future. Because your talent, we have to just continue to expose you, to have you, to help you continue to grow, because I think that you are fantastic. And I know that goes without saying that Anita feels the same way.
Absolutely. I already said this to you 15,000 times in so many different ways. I love you. I love your heart. I love who you are. Your talent is just, you're exactly at your true north, if not any more. I mean, you're really amazing at what you do. I do wish you the best of luck, or rather success, when it comes down to the projects that you'll be picking up as you go along, as people start, more and more people see what you do. And I love all the work we've done already. And I look forward to all the new stuff we'll be working on.
Me
together.
too.
It'll be so much fun. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, we got some good stuff coming our way.
We wish you such a wonderful, prosperous, and amazing new year. We'll be talking to you again soon. And just want to say thank you for coming on our show and sharing about your heart and what you've done for, Hearts Do Matter, and what you will be doing for everybody else going on in the future.
Thank you so much. I am really grateful. And if I could give you a hug, but thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.
I will see you soon. Once this whole thing ends and we can finally get, fly around and enjoy ourselves, I will definitely make a trip out to seeing you in Portugal.
Yes. That my doors are open.
What time is it in Portugal right now? What time is it?
It's almost 10 p.m. 4 minutes to 10 p.m.
Okay, almost 10 p.m.
Thank you for staying up so late for us.
Yeah, so
thank you for inviting me. Like I said, this is like totally out of my comfort zone. So thank you, because
wonderful. You did fantastic. I'm so happy that you did this, and you picked up.
You have a fan club, watching you here. This is awesome.
May you do more. May you do so many more.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful evening, Yury. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Yury. I love her so much. I love her so much. I look forward to working with her in the many different things we've already been talking about. So I know there's more to come. If anyone is wondering if I'm doing anything, yes, I am, and I can't wait. It'll be great.
Yes, and we do have something fun that we're going to be doing, and I cannot wait for that one, because that one, oh my God, that's going to be so amazing. So people, get ready, because Anita Myers Powers has more to come.
Has more to come. Absolutely. Anita, you have good big plans for the new year? My plans are like this. Every day is actually New Year's Day for me. So it's always going to be big. But when it comes to actual celebration, we are keeping it low key, but it's like, the way I look at it is, it's about the quality, not the quantity. And, I'm really glad to just have my family, have my health, that we've gotten through this year, managing the struggles that we managed. And, my forecast for the next day, I don't like to look so far. I like to look at tomorrow, just tomorrow, like now and tomorrow. So I know that we'll be, whatever it is that we do, we'll do it in love, and it'll be blessed. That's all I can imagine right now. How about you?
Absolutely. My beautiful husband wants us to go share with his best friend and his wife. They came here for Christmas, so they invited us over for New Year's to their house. So that is likely what we are going to do. And other than that, I just want to wish you and wish every other person that is listening to us today, whether it be live or on a replay, a wonderful and amazing happy new year. I sincerely wish you the best. I want you to embrace 2021 with a positive outlook, and just welcome the change and love it. Love your life. Love your life, because it's so short. We got to take advantage while we can.
Yes. Well, thank you, Dolly. I wish you a wonderful, amazing, prosperous, successful 2021. And even if it happened beforehand, I'm happy for that too. I want this to happen every day for you, and any of you that's watching right now, that, whatever frustrations you might go through, look at them as a struggle that's temporary, that's teaching you something. And if you fall down, get back up and move forward. Reach out to us. We have so many wonderful things to share with you where we can get you on that track so that you can go through 2021 like a badass rock star. I'm telling you, there's so much to learn and grow through. And that's why one of the things I failed to say earlier today, and I apologize, but this show is designed to get your mind to use all the powers within you while embracing all of the powerful resources around you. We have so many resources at our hands. In fact, what's so funny? I'll say this quickly. I got my nails done and I put glitter on my nails. You know why I put glitter on my nails? Because I want to imagine that I have the universe in my hands. I just want to.
Mine actually do have a little glitter on them.
You glitter on your hair? See? I'm telling you.
Celebrating. They match my hair.
2021 is the year of the universe in our hands. All we have to do is want it and go after it and seize it and own it. And it will be ours by the grace of God.
It will be. And really quick, Anita,
yes.
before we actually say goodbye, we're making another change on our show.
Yeah, because this is what happens to us. We're not changing to irritate you, viewers. No. We are transforming into a beautiful, beautiful butterfly from the caterpillar that we were when we began, right? So we've been doing our show now for a while. It'll be our second year through this. My goodness, Dolly, Cortes, and Anita Myers.
We must be getting along quite well because we're still talking.
Right. So what we observed was, we tried so many different times because we're looking, we're figuring it out. We're putting our antenna where it is. And, we thought when we first started, we did this at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. We thought lunchtime would be great. It wasn't bad. We switched it over to 3 o'clock to see if that was going to work because we had some guidance there. And, we got to talking about it. We're having our own friend time, sitting and discussing, going, what do you think? Maybe we should just make this a night show because our personalities are just the way that they are. A lot of our friends are working throughout the day. A lot of our followers end up watching it later. And we'd love to see more interaction because we do have some really great guests. We have some great information. And the two of us, we have a lot to offer. So what if we made this a night show? And she liked the idea. Right. And we thought, let's do it.
Yes. When are we doing it?
8 p.m. is the winner chicken dinner.
Yes, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So for all of you that will be following us, we hope that you continue to follow us and to watch our show. We will be announcing when the first show will be on at 8 p.m. in the very near future.
It's going to be so great. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so great. I can't even tell you. It's going to be such a great beginning to the whole 2021. You all have to just gather around and watch the first night show.
And that's why, everyone, I just adore her because she's just so cute. Anyway, with that being said, you're just so funny. I just love you. I'm sending you a virtual hug, my dear friend. You have a great evening, and I'm sure we're going to be talking again. But Anita, Happy New Year.
I'll see you. Happy New Year to you too, Dolly. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.